today, there were two things, and these are the best things because every day there's something.
Sure.
But there are two things. First thing is the arrival of chubby legs.
What?
The baby has never had chubby legs. They've always, because she was little.
Yes.
And this morning I'm like, oh my God, like
they're there.
They're chubby legs.
Oh,
like
I love the chubby legs.
Little chubby legs. I'm like, okay. I think it's from the skiing. But there's the chubby legs. I was so excited. And then to even top that, I was already going to talk about that.
Yeah, chubby legs.
Right before you got here, during the changing, when she filled the diaper after it was the first tickle. Where she was actually, I've been trying all along, and I'm like, look, and Kelly comes over, she's like, yeah, that's a tickle. Like I was just tickling her tummy, and she was smiling. So yeah, first tickle and chubby legs in the same day.
There is nothing better than a baby laughing or smiling. There is nothing. I mean,
I can't wait for this. I can't wait for the laugh. This is the Gray Hair and Daycare podcast, with a combined age of 111 years and a combined IQ right in that same range. Your hosts, Frank Sirio and Carlo Russo. Welcome back.
We are back.
This is 23. What?
23.
23. 23. Episode 23.
We did it.
Yeah.
We always sound surprised for the next number.
I always am. Every time I'm a little surprised.
Well, you know what I love to hear?
What's that?
The opening.
The opening. I kind of miss the squash and thing, the produce,
vegetable sizes.
But we don't have that anymore. But what we do have is, as always, I am Frank Sirio. I am 55 years old, and now my daughter is now 41 days old.
41
so
days.
A month. She is a month
Over
old.
A month, yeah.
I've already failed to do some of the things that have been recommended that you should do every month. We'll talk about that later on. But
already feeling like a failure.
Already feeling like I'm missing out. But it was, it's crazy. 41 days. It just it seems like it just goes faster and faster and faster. It does. So that's where we are.
It's funny that we always mention that, like when we were, before the baby came, we were talking about how time's going to fly by,
Yeah.
And before you even have the baby, you're like, okay, I get it. People say it. But it's gonna slow down. I'm gonna feel every moment, and you do. You feel every moment.
Yep.
But at the same time, how something can feel so slow and fast at the same time is this particular scenario of having a child. That's how it feels. It feels like everything's flying by, but when you're in it, you're like, oh my God, this will never end.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest feeling.
I haven't had.
You haven't had that
knock
yet.
on wood, wherever it is. I haven't had a lot of. That. It's been mostly. I feel, and we'll talk a little bit more about it as we go through. I feel like it does. It goes by like every day because you're so busy. It goes by in the blink of an eye, right there. And then there are those moments that seem like they're going to last forever. But really, she's been such a good baby.
Yeah. Yeah, you're lucky. I haven't heard complaining.
No. No, if the only thing is either she's gassy or she's hungry, and there's a solution for both of those. And Kelly's got that one figured out, and the other one I'm getting pretty good at.
The gassy part?
Yes, because because I have so
You're
much
like,
experience.
let me take care of this.
When I feel this way,
this is right.
I roll around and pretend I'm skiing, and now I do that with her.
Do you think it goes fast in the beginning, or always? Because, especially in the beginning, because we're waiting for that next thing that we're like check off list, like, is the baby doing this? Yes. Now the next thing we have to do this. And then by the time we figure it out, oh my God, we're at the 1 year birthday.
Yeah.
Because we're always waiting for that next development or whatever it is.
I think there is that stuff, but honestly, I'm already getting to the point. I had a couple things happen in the last couple of weeks where I'm already at the point of, nope, let's just stay right here. let's just, right? Like I'm already
like shut it down, slow it down.
Yeah, I am like, nope, this is good.
You have some examples you can talk about?
Oh yeah, we'll go.
Oh, you got that's part of it?
We'll get into it.
God, I'm so excited.
Because it's like, you really like, it's so much fun. It's so wonderful, the whole experience that, and I'm like, wait a minute, like, hold on.
Yeah, you want to slow down a
little, right? Like,
yeah. You want to take everything slow.
In a month has gone by and
41 days.
Yeah, 41 days. But it's been great. But I'm already at the point where I'm like, okay, take it easy. Slow down.
Is it what you thought you were going to feel like being a father? Do you have that? How do you, like I've been a father for so long now that it's just part of me. I'm sure a dad of two boys. You know what I mean?
At this point, I feel like it's almost like a honeymoon phase. Like I feel like it's all better than I expected it,
right?
And better than I expected, and easier than I expected. I thought it was gonna. I really was very concerned. Now, look, things are changing, and I'm out all of a sudden. And there are times, just last week, that you just kind of you get tired and you hit a wall,
right?
But no, I mean honestly, for me, it's way better than I thought, and much easier than I thought, and that's why I want to slow. That's why I'm like, I'm not wishing anything to go like, let's just get through. Nope.
Right.
Like,
you're not at a bad scenario.
Yesterday for a week, let's do that.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's
and again, unfortunately or fortunately, everybody doesn't have the same experience.
No.
I mean, so that's why we talk about this stuff, and somebody might be listening going, are you crazy?
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep for 6 years.
No, we see all this stuff. It's funny. My sister came over, and we'll just take walks up and down the driveway in the stroller with the baby. She came over to join us for one, and she was talking about she had been listening to, I don't remember the guy's name, but some podcast talking about developmental stuff with kids and how there's a direct correlation. They've done these studies between how happy or unhappy the mother is through pregnancy has a direct correlation to how easy or difficult a baby is, right? Like a mom that was depressed or unhappy or in a rough situation, the baby has way higher chances of being colicky and being difficult and all those things. So we have the opposite of that because I make my wife so happy.
You do.
That's what I take full credit.
That's the thing. She does call me and go, I am so happy.
I'm just,
I'm like, okay.
I have to tell someone. But we're really lucky, right? Because it was a good experience generally. I mean, we had our challenges, but Kelly was a trooper.
Yeah.
And now we have this kid who's mostly great all the time.
And that's great being your age, right? So we're not 22 years old, not 25, where we can go, you know what, let me get through this. I'm young enough. Let me, and this is a perfect right now thing. Like you said, things can change, kids change and situations change. But right now and how it's, tracing down to, how it's looking like, it's good for the age that we are to deal with this.
Yeah, well, I can tell you right now, knowing, first of all, it's not just the age thing that because I see that and I think about it. It's not just the age difference, but it was a different time.
Yeah.
When we were that age, when you did it.
When I did it.
Right? There was no 8 weeks of paternity leave.
No.
There was none of that stuff. We didn't have any of those opportunities. I can tell you right now, I would not if I could turn back the clock and do it at that age in the situation I'm in right now. Yeah, 2 thumbs up. I'll do that. But to do it then, I don't know how. I don't know how I would. There's no way I would have been able to do what I am doing with the baby and everything I read and learn and see with her. This time is so crucial that I would be ridden with guilt if I was back then.
Yeah.
I was working 50, 60 hours a week, every week, nights, every weekend, all that stuff. There'd be, it would be a completely different experience as a a completely different experience as a father.
Yeah.
And I would be heartbroken most of the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Even going back 18 years ago with my second, I remember I was working at a bank and we went into labor. And I remember something happened where they were expecting me to go to work, but she went through labor, right? And I called, but I left a message with a manager that was not the manager, but the working manager at the time.
Like the MOD or
something. Manager on duty at the moment. But it was in the morning. And I remember, and again, this is going back 18 years, so my story might be a little bit off, but I remember them talking to me afterwards that I did the wrong thing. I should have told the other manager and not her because she's not real. And I'm sitting there going,
your wife's in labor.
I don't care who I told.
Come on.
She's part of the management group. That's where the answer machine went to.
Yeah.
And that was literally the day when I said, I will be finding a new job. And and that's when I went to another bank. But going back, that's only 18 years ago, and they were still giving me some mess about not going to work when my wife was in labor, and I left a message at the wrong table.
The wrong phone. You say that. There was. I just saw a video on X. It was hilarious, and it's been a popular one. It's this kid. He's in his. I think he's college age. He's going to college. He works at Starbucks, and he did this video, and he's literally breaks down in tears throughout the video, talking about how he works at Starbucks.
Yeah.
And he's working on the weekend. He works about 20, 25 hours a week, and he got put on 2 8-hour shifts, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. And he's only 4 hours into the 1 8 hour, and I can't do it. There's only 4 of us working. And there's so many customers, and our managers don't care about us. And he's crying, and I'm thinking, what we had to do in the 90s. In the 90s, for those of you who are not aware, retail was the sweatshop of the 90s.
Absolutely.
Right? We worked like dogs. Literally, my first job in retail at Silo, it was 6 days a week, basically 10 or 12 hours a day.
Iron shifts, we call them.
Year round.
Yep.
I had 1 day off a week all the time. And you were on draw versus commission.
Ugh.
So you got 1.5 times the minimum wage guaranteed. Yeah. And if you made less than that in commission, you had to pay it back.
Hey, you owed them.
You owed people money. It was, and back, I remember, and then if you took a check from somebody and the check bounced, they took it out of your pay.
That's right.
It was it was nuts. But yeah, so I think about that and I see how
there was that one particular mall that we worked. We used to call it the Rock because you would work by yourself. This person was crying about 4 people.
Yeah.
Were working by yourself from morning to night. Yeah. And the crazy thing was, because it was in a mall, the front door was wide open. Yeah. So you couldn't leave it because there was equipment everywhere. So somebody could just walk in there and steal. So you couldn't get off the Rock. And you were up there all day.
Yep, your whole shift.
I mean, you were worried. You would literally have to make deals to go to the bathroom, so somebody could come up there from as we call white goods, where they sold the dishwasher.
And I don't remember crying.
No, we didn't cry. We just put on music and listen to music and made the best of it.
Things
have changed. Absolutely,
it's a whole different world. But to imagine back then, trying to do this, working like that, I wouldn't trade where we're at right now for
and that's
for
what
anything.
We were mentioning before. You're at a couple of different things: the age, the financials, relationship, mental. Yeah. We're all grown. I mean, you know what you want, you know what you need. When you're 27 years old, 28 years old, you do still want all the good stuff, but you don't know how to get there. You're all over the place. You're still trying to figure out your career and your marriage.
I've been 2 other people between that person.
I know, right?
Right?
I am a completely different person.
Completely different thing. Don't miss a single crash test daddy, diaper diet update, or any of our usual nonsense. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
And subscribe to our channel on YouTube at the Gray Hair Daycare Podcast.
If you don't, Carlo will be sad. Look at that face. But we haven't done this one in a while.
Okay.
So we're going to go roll into our very first segment, and it will be the Silver Fox Mailbox. So the nice thing was, since then, we haven't done this in a few weeks, so I had a bunch to go through, and honestly, too many to name. Lots of people saying congratulations and how wonderful and all of those things. So thank you very much to all of you who sent messages and commented on Facebook stuff and emails and all that stuff. It was really nice. It's an interesting experience getting feedback from these people, many of whom you've never met. But they seem so interested and excited, and it's really nice. So thank you for all of the congratulations. Kelly and I were going through them this morning and looking at them all. That was really nice.
A lot of listeners and
listeners and viewers on the YouTube.
Viewers.
Yeah, it's nice. You see the comments.
Well, they traveled with us. They did this journey. They're on this journey with us.
They took the trip.
So
that's true.
They feel like they're a big old community of family. So that's kind of cool.
They are invested.
They invested, yeah.
Back when we had the episode about when you deserted me and went to Florida and we had the snowstorm, I talked about my awesome neighbors across the street, Chris and Ashley, and one of our viewers, Sharon, commented how important that is, and it's true.
The neighbors,
good neighbors, yeah. Like, you've been in your house for how long?
Going on 22, over 22 years now.
22 years. Yep. So you have good neighbors?
I love my next door neighbor, Bill. He is the best.
That's
one of those guys that you know what it is? If you're not a handyman, you need a neighbor that's a handyman or woman, and that's what he is. And he's helped me with so much stuff.
That's nice.
That's and then I've helped him obviously with we go back and forth. Sure. And without him, it's always great to have a neighbor that you can trust. He watches the house. He feeds the animal.
That's nice.
So we have a great relationship.
See, I'm handy. But I like having Chris because he has heavy equipment.
Yes.
Like, that's very nice. Yes. I'm like, gee, I have this this log that needs to be moved. And Chris comes over with some contraption.
Bill's the same way. He's like the guy who, awesome. I'll saw that tree down. Like, yes, I love you.
It's fantastic. So, very important to have good neighbors. Yes. And sounds like we're both lucky there.
Very lucky.
And then this is one of the things I talked about briefly earlier that I've already failed as a father.
Yeah, let's get into
Christine recommended. Christine is always, she's like number one fan, always commenting and watching and stuff. It's awesome. But she commented, take a pic every month of the baby, like with a plushie or something, the same thing every time to see her. And we went right by the month and nothing. And it's funny because I've talked about Kelly's cousin and her baby Armand, who's just a few weeks older. Right. She's showing me pictures, and they're doing like they've got a mat and they put them on there, and it's
so they are doing what,
and they're
what
doing that, and it says
said.
1 month, 2 months, and I'm like, oh. So I got out my game. Of course, Kelly's like, we could just fake it and take one now and say 1 month. I'm like, okay, we can do that. Catch up.
You know what? Yeah. In many years, when you look back at, you won't even remember if it was fake or not.
Yeah,
you're gonna think you did it.
That's right. I'm gonna think, what a great dad I was. I'm glad I thought of that. But yeah, so thank you to Christine for the idea, and we will start with month 2, and we'll fake month 1.
Are you gonna take a picture with
Mussolini? Probably not. I think
we have something in mind.
Well, you know what? There's a little bunny. One of the things, I don't know if did we talk about the photo shoot?
Yes,
that we got the pictures.
I don't think you talked about.
Yeah,
you did it. Did not have the pictures back.
So right, like 10 days in, we did the photo shoot.
Yep.
For this photographer, and I will make a point of next time getting his name and talking about him, because we got the pictures. Must have been since we recorded last. Did an incredible job, and one of the things he did was, she has a little bunny. A little soft plushy bunny, and he was so good because he would set her up, and then he took her little arm and he tucked the bunny in and held it there, and just held it there gently until she relaxed, and then he got like these incredible pictures.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Even the fact that he got more than one picture of Kelly, me, the baby, and both dogs. And they're great pictures.
The one photo you sent me of Watson
Oh, looking at, yeah.
Oh my God.
It is. I mean, I've always been I've always been into photography.
So good.
And this is a photographer's dream.
So good.
But you have to be like, it's interesting. I'm learning that right now her vision is mostly about contrast, right? Bright and dark.
Yep.
So she zeroes in on Watson because he's black and white.
Yep.
But the other thing that happens is if I'm trying to take a picture and I see, oh, there's the smile, as soon as I take the big black phone and she's mostly looking up at the white ceiling, it's like, oh, what's that? And the face goes away.
Gotcha.
So I've got to kind of like be very cagey about figuring out how to do it. So that bunny might be what we use because she was only 10 days old
Gotcha.
when he did that, and then we'll continue there.
That could be that. So you did it.
He did it, and now I will.
Now you continue
I'll do it.
Right.
We'll do it, and then we'll do it again.
I love it.
So yeah, that'll be a fun thing to do as we go forward. So that is our Silver Fox mailbox. Please continue send in ideas, thoughts, recommendations. There's been all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah.
So
keep them coming.
Having fun with that. And this is one we have not done in a while.
What's this?
Now I feel like as I often do, talk with Kelly, and I'm like, so what have I been wrong about? And and this one, even she says, you were joking, but your joke was definitely wrong. And I was joking. The last episode.
So now we can't even joke wrong.
She made a point that is a good thing to talk about because you asked how long were you supposed to swaddle when we on our last episode, I did remember that, and I was like, I don't know, 12, and obviously it's not 12, but it is important. The swaddling is supposed to be roughly the first 3 months, and you're supposed to stop swaddling once they can Houdini their way out of it, which she does occasionally, but most importantly, once they can roll. If they're swaddled and they roll and then they can't roll back, that's not good. Gotcha. So it's supposed to be about 3 months, but the benchmark for stopping with the swaddling is once they start rolling on their own while they're swaddled or escaping from the swaddle. Like it's because it's like a little straitjacket. Right?
Yeah, it absolutely is.
So I was wrong, but only a little.
Have you seen any of those? Well, not the rolling, but is she trying to get out?
Yeah, a lot of times it depends. I'm pretty good. A lot of times
getting it tight.
I get it, and I tuck it in nicely. I make a good chains, whatever I got to do. Now in the morning though, usually, Kelly's going through and she's getting up in the middle of the night and doing feedings and stuff. And now this is another thing. We're very lucky right now. She's been getting up to like 3-4 hour stints at night. So she's sleeping 7 hours out of 8 or 9. Okay. So that's pretty good at her age. But then, Kelly in the morning, I start waking up around, 5:30, 6 o'clock. Okay. And a lot of times at that point, she will have been 2 hours asleep, but she's vocalizing. They make a lot of noise while they're sleeping. Mm-hmm. So I will usually be the one who checks her out, and I'll change her, and then she'll be ready for the next round of feeding. Gotcha. And when I check, Kelly, I don't think does as snug enough on the left. She's always getting her. She's always got one arm out. She's waving her. She's doing the queen. Like she's riding like a rodeo. She's always got that one waving around. So 5 seconds. So she's just trying to go do a full ride. That's hilarious. So she's usually getting them out there. But not when I get it. Get her in there. I get it nice and snug. All right. And I am getting better at it. Yeah. There's a knack to it. I don't do a good job. I don't focus on the legs. I'm just get her like the top part, and then I just kind of keep it neat. Speaking about that, getting a little update on the diaper situation. I know we had some blowouts, and you were shown a better way. How's that coming up? We're good now. So in fact, now we're at the point now where she is, because we've been in the end diapers, the zeros. Oh, okay, yep. And she's right at the point now, because she has grown so much, that we might be transitioning to the next size.
Gotcha.
Because now it's like, now because she's long, they're starting to look like low rise, like they're little. But no, we haven't had any blowouts, any of that stuff. But it was funny right before you got here. Kelly's she's like, I'm gonna change her, and then we're gonna feed, and she changes her, and I'm there, and she's happy all the time, so she's smiling, and she just literally stick, and she kind of is closing up the little Desitin thing, and you see little baby Josie, and you hear. It just completely fills the diaper immediately. Wow. And it is loud. But yeah, and she that's Kelly without a minute is like, well, we're gonna leave that one for a little while because you're gonna get mad if I don't feed you.
That's hilarious.
But it always seems to work that way. Because they feel
clean and like,
there it is.
Let me get back into this.
Yeah. Oh, you got that
I'm
on
too
there
clean.
now? Mm-hmm.
I'm too comfortable.
That's right.
You're too comfortable.
Yeah. You don't get a break.
That's fine.
So yeah, that was.
God, I forgot about those days. Honestly,
it's
because it happens.
Yeah.
To everybody. I mean, everybody does it.
I can imagine.
Just when you get done, you got everything going, and then boom, you're right back in.
I don't mind that one. What was killing me is when it was like just before I even get it, just run another one and another one.
That's.
But no, she's having fun with it.
Well, at least now you figured out how to keep it contained.
Yes, yeah, it's all good now.
Yeah,
and it's just stupid. This is gonna sound really stupid, but like the stripe I didn't know about.
The wet dry.
Yeah, so now we see that. But there's also 2 little yellow like landing strips where the tabs are supposed to go. We were weeks in before I made that connection.
And again, it's been so long for me.
Yeah.
You just reminded me of that, and I knew that. But I probably was the same way. I didn't know that until.
I was not thinking about
200th time going, what am I doing wrong? Oh, follow the directions.
Yeah. You know what? It's like a lot of this stuff. It reminds me of when I first started playing guitar, and you discover like. For me, it was like an E chord. You think you invented it. Right? You think you're like, wow, that sounds like I
can do this.
Right? Like you think that.
Does anyone else know this?
Does anybody else know this? And then you're like, no, that's the most fundamental. Like it's that kind of stuff. It's like I figured this out.
I gotta tell everyone.
And everybody's like, really? Okay. So a lot of it.
That's funny.
A lot of it is like that. So that was. I was wrong. And now we're going to move into Crash Test Daddy. Here we are with synthetic baby Josie. And Carlo's challenge for today with the Crash Test Daddy is we have 2 products that are both awesome. One was a gift. One we purchased to work with the gift. And these are both UppaBaby products. UppaBaby Mesa V2 infant car seat. And the UppaBaby Minu, M-I-N-U V2 travel stroller. So the whole thing, and we have used both of these extensively, the whole thing with the stroller in particular is you can one-handed set it up and break it down. So with Baby Josie simulated, the first thing we will have you do is set up that.
Okay.
So it's there.
So I'm at the mall.
You're at the mall.
Just car,
exactly.
Right. And I got to get this going. So you're not gonna tell me how to do this and all. So
there is a tab.
There's a tab
on one side, and then it's just pull it up the handle, and it should
like a tent.
Exactly.
Okay. So here we go.
A little gray tabby.
Tab.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Just get that open.
Okay.
There you go.
Move.
It's just tension, so you gotta.
Okay, so baby. So the baby's here.
Yes.
And then,
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's good.
There you go.
Okay. And
that's it. Nice.
Okay.
So that is it.
Okay.
Now.
Baby's still in hand.
Now the car seat, the UppaBaby ecosystem, these work together.
Okay.
So you'll see there are little arms there.
Yes, the arms.
So you got to pull those out.
Okay.
And now,
all right,
the UppaBaby car seat connects to the arms so that you can use actually a bassinet or this thing with the stroller. Now there's a brake over here. If you want to keep it from moving around, just press the red button. That will hold it in place.
Okay, so now I have my baby's going to be facing, I believe, my way.
Rear facing.
Right. If I remember correctly.
Look at that.
Put that in.
That's it.
Okay.
You're ready to stroll.
So now
you just got to, now I would say turn it around so we can see you strap her into the car seat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now
look at that.
Turn it around.
There you go. Perfect.
There we are.
I don't know how much we'll be able to see with the cameras the way they are, but that's okay.
This camera?
Yeah, try either way. We'll see.
Now I'm gonna put the baby in.
There you go.
I'm gonna put the baby in, and I'm gonna make sure. Hi, honey. Get the hands. Get the hands out of the way, and we're gonna do maybe this.
That clips together.
Yeah, it has to be a clip. And this will go to the seatbelt.
No. That actually is just a tensioner for the straps. So there's a little clippy in the crotch, like between her legs.
Okay.
And then those straps plug in.
Ready to do this?
You don't need to do that. I think you did very well.
Okay.
So
now the baby's here.
Baby's there. That's it. You got a little sunshade. And you're ready to roll. What's nice about the stroller, what I like about it is, first of all, lots of storage underneath.
Yes.
It has a very, that's okay. It has a very nice ride, very smooth.
Yes.
And it's very well made. Like both products are very well made. But yeah, that's it. So that is the
brake on one side. You just hit it down. It's a
green light, red light, green light.
Boom.
And then when you want to close it up, once you take that off, so there's a button on the top. You don't have to do that, but there's a button on the top that pulls right off. Look at that.
Right there.
And then when you want to close it up, there's a little slide lock and then a button. So you slide the lock over, pull the thing. Yep. So move that, and then one hand, all the way. Oh no, hold on. Sorry, I tricked you. Fold the little arms down, and now one-handed, you could do it.
So slide. Doesn't matter which way you slide.
Nope. Either way.
Slide and down.
That's it. And it's all clipped, ready to go. Will fit in an overhead compartment.
I love it.
It's fantastic.
You take this and you clip it to the car.
And it has and I was able to get, so we have two bases for it. So now there's one in my truck, there's one in Kelly's car. So we go with that, and then this goes in the trunk, and you're ready to go take a walk. So that is our Crash Test Daddy, the UppaBaby Mesa V2 infant car seat and the UppaBaby Minu V2 travel stroller. Both are $329.99 each. So not cheap.
What a deal.
But yeah, it's not bad. $329 each. And then the brackets so that you can use this with that are $29. You can also they make a bassinet that you can use with this for a little baby too. Wow. So you could have the bassinet works with the stroller, the car seat works with the stroller, or either way.
I think Josie says she wants ice cream. You better go get it.
Oh, that sounds good to me. Yeah. Okay. That's our Crash Test Daddy. And now we're going to move into what just happened. So lots of little things. It's interesting because as time goes on, and I'm talking with Kelly, and I think last time, and certainly the time before, like the episode before when we talked about the whole birth, all that stuff. It was just like timeline stuff, and now it's much more about about what it's like. Right, like right now, there are certain things that we're learning and figuring out.
Yeah.
But the being able to share what the experience is like is pretty cool. But there were just some basic things we are learning. The one thing that I discovered somehow online was the CDC has a Milestones app. So there's an app on the phone. Now, the app that Kelly uses religiously is Huckleberry.
Yep, that's the one you've been talking about.
That's awesome. So she tracks all the poopy diapers and poopy or wet and all that stuff, what she's feeding, which breast, how long, all that stuff. So it tracks everything, which is great because we use that when we go to the doctors. But this Milestones app is just you put in the baby's birth date, and it basically gives you all the milestones that your child should be doing, visual tracking and how holding her head up and this and that. So immediately I'm like, okay, let's boom, 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 we're going through, and she's hit every milestone
tracking,
up to she's almost at she's done some of all but one of, I think, the 2 month.
I'm getting into the other.
Yeah, so she's already overachiever, doing well, but it's fun. And then you just go in there like, okay, and every once in a while,
that's kind of cool because you don't have to guess it. You don't have to try to figure it out.
Because you always there was a lot of that in the beginning. I'm looking at her and she's always looking like this, and I'm like, is there something wrong? Like, what's going on? I was like, no, this is what she does. But yeah, so it has all those little things that you can check on, and I've been using that. That's been cool. And
talk
of course,
about technology. Just the data, going back 18, 24 years ago. I'm sure you have to call your doctor. Is it okay when my baby does this? And let me get back to you on that. The doctor's busy. Yeah. Now you can just go right to the app and go, oh yeah.
There's so much of that stuff. Yeah. The resources that are available and
I'm sure there's also people that get scared. My baby's not doing that. And they're like, relax. Everybody has their own time.
Well, I think it's funny because we're in the middle of Kelly's friend in Texas,
right,
who has 4 children. This is her 4th, and just born within a week of baby Josie, and then her cousin in Michigan, who's a baby Armand, almost a few weeks older. And you have, so she hears from friend in Texas, talking about what's going on. And she's asking questions she's just talking about how things are going and asking her, asking Kelly and talking about stuff. And then you hear when she talks to her cousin, it's more like, so have you done this yet? Have you done that yet? And much more comparing notes and trying to level set like how we're doing, how the babies are doing and all that stuff. But having all these new resources that are out there, it's got to make a big difference. But so we had the app, and then we had finally our follow-up. It felt like it was a long time between visits, but we went back to Summer with Pediatrics, and we had our checkup. So the first thing was kind of the over-under on how heavy we thought she was, because the last time, again, when she was born, she was 6 pounds,
2 ounces,
6'1", I think, 6 pounds 1 ounce. Then she went down. And then the last time we were there, she was at 6 pounds, 3.5 ounces. 6 pounds, 3.5 ounces.
I remember we were talking about she was over her birth weight.
Yes. So she was back up over her birth weight and doing well. It's a noticeable difference, right? So I'm thinking, my guess was 9 pounds. I thought she was at 9 pounds.
Really?
Yep. And because it had been 3 weeks. And when she started gaining, she was really going
rapid, yeah.
And the feeding has gone really well, all that stuff. And she had gone through these stints of the cluster feeding, which usually means a growth spurt. Yep. So there was just one yesterday, and then you can see it. It's crazy. Yeah. But so she was. You want to guess? I love making you guess.
Your thing was 9. You thought?
I thought she was going to be right around 9 pounds.
And the last time was 6'3".
6 pounds, 3.5 ounces.
So when you said 9, I felt, oh my God! But now that you're talking about, I'm going to say 9 pounds, 4 ounces.
That I bet by now, yes. Oh. But she was 8 pounds, 14 ounces. So just 2 ounces away.
More, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Get in there.
That's a poop.
That's a poop.
That's
a milking and.
Yes, that's right. Another feeding. So and that's actually completely true because it's about 2 ounces each time.
Right. Yeah,
she started pumping now.
There you go.
So 6 pounds, from 6 pounds, 3.5.
Right now, as we're talking, over 9.
Yeah, no, I bet you. She because it's amazing how quickly she just seems to grow and grow and grow. But yeah, so we had that. So we had the visit. The doctor was very pleased. Went over everything. She's given us all kinds of praise, which I'm sure they say to everybody.
No, you guys you guys got like a flow chart going and a pie chart.
You can tell sometimes there were certain things where she's like, oh, like she's getting very, clear answers like, oh, how's it going to like, well, this, and this. We're like, so we are on point.
I remember we were like, we gave a baby a hot dog. And we're like, what? No, stop. We're going to take this baby away from you.
Yeah. Is it too soon for red pepper? No, there was, they're really nice there. Yeah. And then it was cute because of course, the one thing that didn't go out, clearly, Baby Josie is not a fan of the rectal thermometer.
Ooh,
that was
is
the whole triage went very badly once that happened. But they got her, did the weighing, measure, and all that stuff, and it was good. And yeah, so now I think it's another several weeks.
To the next one?
Till the next one. I think we might have an appointment with the lactation consultant between now and then.
13 pounds.
I don't know. It's moving fast. More. It's moving fast. So we'll see. But they're very happy. She went to she was 10th percentile.
Yeah.
When she was born for weight, and now she's 35th percentile.
Oh, wow.
So she's definitely making up. And in fact, I think, I'm not positive, but talking about Kelly's cousin, I think she may have leapfrogged him.
Really?
Right? They've had talking about how lucky we are. They have had a much more difficult time with breastfeeding.
Like we said, everybody's story is different.
They were at the point where they don't know, because when breastfeeding, you don't know what's happening. They had in the beginning, they had to weigh the baby before and after feeding to see if
anything.
Yes. Like they were having to do that stuff. Yeah. And so it's obviously a lot of work, and it's very draining for Kelly, but it's gone really well. And the evidence is there.
Well, we were talking about last episode about the disappearing baby.
Oh yeah.
How that is so true day in and day out. And I know you're going to talk a little bit about it.
Yeah.
But it's so true when you mentioned that. I wanted to talk. I wanted to say something like, oh my God, they change every day. But it's like that disappearing baby just sticks out with me. Like what you just saw, the next day is like, oh wait a minute, I got a new baby.
When we saw the pictures from the photo shoot, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Because, it's continually changing and you notice things. But then when I'm like, wow, she was so small.
Could you imagine 3 months from now? I mean, not that you want to jump that far, but in your mind going, that's going to be, you're going to have a whole totally different experience.
Yep. It's already just what she can do and how engaged she is and stuff. It's amazing how quickly everything changes. So that all went really well with the doctor. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of it has been the fun part, the experiences with her. You can see now she is engaging with certain things, and she has fun with stuff. I have a few paintings. My aunt, so my dad's younger sister, was an artist. Okay. And I have a few paintings that she did. And this is, I think, like a pastel that she did that my sister was nice enough to give to me. She had a bunch of her work. It's just a floral. She used to go, when she wanted to paint, she would go out into her garden. She had a beautiful flower garden. She would pick a bouquet of flowers, arrange them, and then paint them. Wow. So the painting is a bouquet in a vase. And I also was lucky enough to have the vase. So now I have a vase that's in the painting. Wow. That we will put flowers in occasionally. So it's right by our kitchen table. Uh-huh. And she will zero in on it. Really? She will just, she's very fascinated with that, and just different things she'll engage with. It's fun. It's fun now with the music. And pretty much every morning since Kelly has started pumping. So basically, first thing in the morning, she will feed, and then baby comes to me, and I try and keep her occupied as long as I can. And she pumps. And so that's usually dance party time. So I immediately start with I already have a growing, I think there's 40 or 43 songs on the playlist. I have a playlist built, and it's like Dean Martin and Louis Prima, we sing. Yeah, I'm singing all these songs. It's so
she just
much.
Like looking at your mouth, or
she loves when I whistle. I will often, like with the Louis Prima songs, there's always a horn solo, so I will whistle the horn solo part, and she loves that.
I used to do this one sound. You just reminded me.
Right.
It was like, I don't know if I can do it. It was like
they would love that.
It was like a chipmunk and a squirrel. I don't know what. And the kid, their heads were like, oh, and they would laugh.
That? Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot about that until you said that about the whistle. But yeah, you have these little things that they just go crazy.
That's it's the engagement, and now it's definitely more like I definitely see it. There's just the recognition now that just earlier today I brought her over. She looks at Kelly and just bam. Big smile. Aww. And it's awesome. Like,
this is the person that feeds me and cleans me, and I poop again. And
this is the holder of the boobs. It's fantastic. So we have that stuff, and then I just I was showing. It's funny because I'm just I get to be an idiot, right? Yeah. So she's gassy. I can't get her to burp. I try the shoulder. I try the football carry. No, it's just not happening. And so then I got her, I put my pillow on the bed, I prop her up, and I'm like, okay, we're going to do stuff. I'm like, we're going to go skiing. So I'm like she's skiing. And now we're going to do karate. Now,
I told you about the Kias.
Now we're going to rumba. And I take her a little.
That's so funny.
And all of a sudden, I get the burp. So, and Kelly's watching this. And then so she tried it. Yes, she tried it later. It was yesterday, I think, and sure enough, it works. Yeah, I'm like, no, you're not skiing right. I'm like,
if you're gonna ski right.
Next, we got to work on having her hold the poles. We got to get her to do that. But no, it's all the
Like I used to say, I used to do the katas. The kids had the katas in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's fantastic. So that stuff has all been super fun.
That's fun.
We had some visitors last weekend, and then this past weekend. One of Kelly's good friends, I think they met like in middle school.
Oh, wow.
And her name is Greta. She's a teacher, still lives in the Buffalo area. She came out and got to meet the baby. She was actually the first of Kelly's friends to interact with the baby. It was really nice. Got to catch up with her and had some fun. And then Kelly's older brother and his wife came out and spent the day Saturday. And first time they had been traveling. So they went like right around the time the baby was born, they were on a cruise. Wow. And then unfortunately they got sick on the cruise. So they were recovering.
They couldn't come.
But they were out and we got to meet them, which was really fun. My sister-in-law is an experienced aunt. Like she has sisters. And so you can tell she's got the aunt role on point. So it was fun to see them.
Then you had Kelly's parents. I think we were talking about they were coming. Did they ever?
Yes.
They came.
No, they have not come.
Oh, okay.
We were thinking they were going to, but there's been delays with first of all not feeling feeling well and other stuff. So they're kind of supposed to be coming in 2 days.
Oh, okay.
So they're coming out and we'll see them.
Yeah, because even last week I got sick on the road working, and I was like, you don't want to come in. You know, it's like so it sucks when it's family that hasn't seen the baby yet. Yeah. But you don't really want to bring that into the house, you know?
Yeah. Well, even that, like
your sister.
With David and Gabe, they called the night before, and Gabe was feeling much better, but David still wasn't feeling great. So they were upfront about it. He's like, look, he's still not feeling great. And Kelly was like, well, you can come. Well, if you come, but you won't be able to touch the baby. And I was like, don't make them come. Like, don't make them come.
Make them like when they can hold their.
And I was like,
niece and
look, you've been he works. He's like a lead software engineer or something.
Slacker.
So he has teams. Like he works remotely, and most of his team is in other parts of the country and world. So he's working he'll be on calls at 2 a.m. and stuff. So. And he's been working a lot, And he was just, he hadn't gotten a lot of rest. I'm like, look, why don't you just get some rest tonight? Call us in the morning. Let us know how you feel. If you feel up to it, come out. If you don't, but it
worked out.
And Kelly agreed because I would hate for him. They're going to drive from Buffalo, and then you're going to be like, oh, I can see the baby, but I can't hold. Like that wouldn't be cool. I would rather wait and
you
have
wait
them
a couple
be able
more,
to.
and then you can hands on.
But luckily, he went to bed early, got a lot of rest, and felt much better, and he was fine the next day. So it was good to see them. But the tired thing, I get it. Like I've been trying to look. I'm keeping up on everything so that Kelly can just focus on the baby because that's enough. So then when I'm not helping with the baby, I'm just trying to get stuff done. And last week the project was basically we wanted to get rid of, we had 3 vehicles. We had a plow vehicle and then Kelly's car, a smaller car, and then we had an SUV. And we decided we were going to get Kelly into the SUV. That will be her daily driver. Get rid of the smaller car. And then instead of having a plow vehicle, I would have a daily driver, get a pickup truck. So I found a deal on a pickup truck. It was in Delaware. And so I'm making all the arrangements, and I had 2 vehicles.
Return and this. And
2 vehicles to trade, and there was stuff that needed to be done. I
hate car things like that.
It was just, honestly, this is what did it for me. It was funny because I was trying to remember when it was I hit the wall. And she's like, it was the red light day. And what happened was like, so I make this deal for 2 vehicles. I'm trading a Jeep Wrangler and a 3 Series BMW.
To the place that you're buying the new one?
Yes.
So same place.
And it's from Delaware.
Yep.
So they're going to drive the new truck up from Delaware.
Okay.
And then take those away.
Okay.
Drive them back.
Sure.
So the Wrangler has been a perfect vehicle. I've never had any problems with it. It still had 29,000 miles. It's a 2015.
Wow.
Because all I use it for is to plow the driveway.
Yeah.
I might drive it around with the doors off in the summer once in a while. So but I had a chipped windshield. And I have glass covers. So I had a glass doctor come out, and it was covered by insurance.
Sure.
They swap out the windshield, and then I had to have them take the plow off.
Yep.
So the morning before they're coming, Thursday morning, they're coming to bring the truck. They've already done the deal. They've told me how much I'm getting for the trade. I'm happy. And I get in the car to go bring it so they can take the plow off, and I turn the car on, and there's a red flashing light over the temperature gauge. I'm like, what?
Why is it always that?
There's
story?
never been a warning light on
it went from
any
0
of my
to 100.
vehicles.
Yeah,
this was like flashing red, and I'm like, what the heck? So I bring it in to them. They take the plow off. I'm doing internet searches trying to find out, and it was just like I'm thinking to myself, these people. I just did this deal. I worked them over to try to get the best deal possible.
And now you're going to hand them this.
And now they're going to show up and be like, gee, there's a red flashing warning light. Did you?
It just happened. Yeah, right.
And I'm going to be like, oh, yeah. So long story short, the glass doctor guy screwed up the remote start. The remote start caused the flashing light.
Oh.
I figured it out, but I couldn't fix it because literally I get the car back at 4:00 on Thursday. They're coming Friday. The next day to get it. So I was just prepared to explain.
Tell them what exactly.
And thank goodness they didn't even ask. Like,
oh, really?
They're like the driver, the salesman came in, very nice kid, 20 years old, came in, we signed all the paperwork. The driver was putting the temporary plates on the 2 vehicles they were taking away. And they did everything. He went over the vehicle with me and they drove away and they never said a word about it. I don't know. Thank goodness.
Right down the road, they're like, oh.
Well, it's as soon as you turn the car on, flashing red. Yeah, so they must have seen it.
Yeah.
But the only question he asked, I got a text message 5 minutes after they left. And I'm like, oh, I look.
Yeah,
and it was the salesman saying, "What do you put? Do you put super in the BMW?" I'm like, "Sure, yeah,
yeah.
That's it. Put it in.
Everything's great. Nothing to see here.
Have a great drive." But that day, because I was just on point, taking care of all this other stuff.
That's a lot of stuff.
And I was stressed out, and I just dinner time, I hit a wall. And I've been getting great rest. To Kelly's credit, she's not making me get up in the middle of the night. No, sometimes I will to help, but rarely. I'm sleeping like I usually do.
Yeah.
But that night, I just was like, I don't feel good. And for some reason, I don't know if you do this, but if I don't feel well, the answer for me most often, whatever it is, a flu or cold or whatever, yeah, there's that. But it's mostly I bundle up like shorts, sweats over the shorts, wool socks, hoodie,
You swallow your
hat, hood up.
Wow.
And under the covers, like
you are cave.
like sweat it out, right?
Oh, okay, that's what you're trying to do. Okay.
That's usually that usually works for me. So I'm like, as soon as Kelly sees me doing like bundling up, she's like,
routine.
You're like, okay, good night. And I went to bed at like 7:30 and slept through until 6 a.m.
Okay.
Like, and I felt much better the next day. But you don't realize it is like I'm all drunk and happy all the time, like baby drunk.
Right.
I'm happy all the time because I'm having such a great time with all this.
Yeah.
But and I got it easy, but you hit a wall. It's tiring.
Yeah.
At that point, I was
supposed to be in a good. I've been
I just want to enjoy. Like, please, I just want to be done.
I've been skiing with the baby and doing karate.
We've been skiing. We've been rumbling. But yeah, so that was fun about it. So I did have a little bit of that, but generally things have been going real good. The one thing we kind of talked about in Crash Test Daddy with the car seat. This is one thing that hit me, and it surprised me. Okay. That we got the car seat, crate car seat, and
which we all know now.
Yes, we all know all about now. And there's an insert for when they are at their smallest.
Of course.
And then that comes out, and then when they get bigger, another one comes out.
It grows into it, yeah.
Yes. So when we went to Mass this past Sunday, it's getting like it's snug on her. Okay. Now she's been growing and obviously putting on weight, but she's not chubby, but she's long. And with the way the straps work, because it's like a 3-point harness, it was too small.
It was getting,
And I'm like, I'm going to take the little booster thing out. So I took it out, and right then I'm like, and I just, like, she's never going to be she's never going to be this small again. And it hit me really hard.
Like already you're getting rid
And
of
that's
stuff.
why when we were talking about it earlier, it's like, nope, I don't want to get through anything. Quick. I want it to stop right where it is, because you don't feel like you have enough time. When I set that thing down on the table and I looked at it, I'm like, thank God I have the presence of mind to try to slow it down as much as I can, because it is going by at a blinding pace.
I'll tell you, my wife and I are going to be dealing with the empty nest, as they say. We had our oldest, which is 24. He went away, but we still had Nicholas at home.
Yep.
And it was, things changed. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe our oldest is now in college. But he was still in town, even though he lived in campus. He was still here, and then we had but this will be, coming up this fall, will be the first time that we're back to just us two.
Yeah.
And talking about speeding up life, that things just flew by.
Yeah.
We haven't been there yet. And I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
When I think about I'm like, okay, this is exactly what's supposed to happen, right?
Yeah.
Kids grow up, they go to school, they get, whatever.
If you do the job right, you're rewarded with an empty house.
Exactly, you're rewarded with an empty house. And of course, always welcome back, of course. Yep. But the idea is they go out and find their own world in life.
It's the same thing. It's never going to be the same.
Right.
And it's never going to be like that again.
Right. And there's times when we're all, like today, we're going to be doing a family function.
Yep.
And there's times like when they were little and they would wake up on Easter and do the Easter egg.
Yeah.
It's just, you want to take those times and just cherish them so much, because all of a sudden they're going to be memories.
Yep.
Hopefully great memories.
Yeah.
And memories are great because that's what keeps us, and we make new ones. But that's what they are. They just are memories. And you want to live in that moment. Just live in that moment. I live in that moment when my kids are watching TV and we're on the couch and stuff. And when we're on vacation. You got to live that moment.
Oh yeah, that is absolutely one thing. Like I am very grateful that when I do things like that with the stupid car seat, that it hits me.
Right.
I'm glad because I am everyone. Anytime I have the oh God again, like oh I got to do that. It's like what are you stupid?
Right.
You don't have to do this. You get to do this.
Yeah.
You get to change that diaper someday. There's no more diapers to change. And yeah, so I'm like, when you talk about wanting anything, like waiting for the next thing. Nope. I am
like,
if I could stop it and just, like I said, have yesterday for a week.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I think jealous is a big word. I don't want, but it's like, I'm jealous of you get that little baby and that everything you can experience, which, I'm glad I experienced it, and we have new things now to experience. The graduations and college and now my son and his girlfriend are going to be living together, and that's a new chapter in their life. But that, those times, like while you're hearing this, Easter just passed. So it's the first holiday.
Yeah. Yep. Super excited for that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we're just talking about what she's going to be, what she'll be wearing. Do you have big plans for Easter? What are you going to do?
I'm going to Trina's side of the family.
Okay.
This is not the first holiday, because we did have Christmas when my mother passed, but it was so like that day. Yeah. It was like she passed the day before Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So this will be the first holiday that we've been a little bit apart from the passing.
Yep.
So I'm spending with Trina's family.
It's good.
Yeah. And the kids will be there and all that good stuff. So you obviously have.
We're just gonna be my sister and her husband coming over here. I got a nice boneless leg of lamb.
Sure.
I'm gonna do sous vide leg of lamb, stuffed artichokes.
Yeah, of course.
Little roasted carrots, and a very nice goat cheese mashed potatoes.
Ooh, goat cheese.
This is the stuff that for all my family that does listen. This is what you miss when you don't come to my house.
That's right.
On the holidays.
That's right.
But
you'll see photos.
There will be photos, and so we're gonna do that. And Paula and Avi are gonna bring over some dessert.
Isn't it cool that you get to do a holiday and you have a daughter?
What's fun. It's there's my aunt, the artist that I was talking about earlier. One of the things she did, she didn't have any children of her own. She would make Easter baskets for all of us.
Aww.
As kids, and that was a big thing. And now my sister is already working. She's telling me today she's making my daughter's first Easter basket.
Absolutely,
it's awesome. So yeah, I love seeing that stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But today. There were two things, and these are the best things because every day there's something.
Sure.
But there are two things. First thing is the arrival of Chubby legs.
What?
The baby has never had chubby legs. They've always, because she was little.
Yes.
And this morning I'm like, oh my God, like
they're
chubby legs.
Oh,
like
I love the chubby legs.
Little chubby legs. I'm like, okay. I think it's from the skiing, but there's the chubby legs. I was so excited. And then to even top that, I was already going to talk about that.
Yeah, chubby legs.
Right before you got here, during the changing, when she filled the diaper after it was the first Tickle. Where she was actually, I've been trying all along, and I'm like, look, and Kelly comes over, she's like, yeah, that's a Tickle. Like I was just tickling her tummy, and she was smiling. So yeah, first Tickle and chubby legs in the same day.
There is nothing better than a baby laughing or smiling. There is nothing. I mean,
I can't wait for this. I can't wait for the laugh. There's some
the actual audio.
There's some gurgling sounds and stuff. And one of the things that Kelly pointed out, from the beginning, I'm very auditorily focused. So I constantly talk to her, saying things, making noises. But then when she makes noises, I make them back to her. I parrot her, and it's good, right? Because they start to understand cause and effect, and they understand, and they start to engage like it's communication. So I do that constantly. She's like, that's a good thing.
I used to have conversations with my kids, and Trina would always like, it's so funny how you like talk back to them.
Yeah.
In that.
Yep. That's
whatever sounds they're making.
Yeah.
Like it's a normal.
That's good.
I'll be like, oh yeah. Oh my God.
Exactly.
Like it's a normal conversation.
Yeah.
But you just remind me of something. I don't know if you ever heard of this in the old school. When my parents and my family, mother, would never want us to tickle the baby's feet. They said I don't know what it was, if it made them weak or it made them like, I don't know what it was. It was like, don't do that to the baby. They're going to be soft people, or I don't know what it was.
That's interesting. No, I don't remember that.
It's just something when you said about tickling, and I remember we used to like go, what are they talking about? That she used to hate when we tickled the feet. So I hope.
Oh, in fact, that's what they tell you.
It might be I was wrong kind of thing, but I'm going to get back home and tell. Trina might know better. But it was. I believe
that.
Like,
that sounds like
it'll make them like mush mush.
That's why. No, that's what the lactation consultants tell you to do, is tickle their feet to wake them up between. If when you're feeding and they start to wake them up that way.
But again, this is old school Sicilian. 1936
Don't
thoughts.
Do that and rub olive oil on there.
Yeah, right. But I just remember them like, don't tickle the feet.
Yeah, no.
So
that I don't. I believe it.
I'm gonna look into that. I'll come back with if I just made that up.
Yeah.
Or if it was something that.
No, I bet you didn't.
No, it's just sticking with me right now.
Oh yeah, I'm sure Trina will tell me. She's
like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
She said that.
Tickle the feet, they'll make them soft. That's hilarious. But yeah, so that's where we are right now. So today, the special event for today is the Chubby legs and the first tickle, which is fantastic. It's
lucky you.
Oh my God!
Lucky you.
I've never. I got it. Like I have never in my life been so happy.
Yeah.
I have never
we talked about this. We talked about this prior to the baby.
Yeah.
I said, there's no explanation how you feel. I can't put it to words. There's you think you know what you're going to feel like, and it's not. It's 10 billion times more. And I'm glad now you finally feel it.
Oh, yeah.
You finally know what I'm, not just me talking about, when people try to explain. It's hard to explain.
Yeah. No.
The true.
I highly recommend. 5 stars. Everyone should get one.
Yeah.
Like everybody should do this.
God bless the people that say, I don't need kids. God bless you.
Yeah.
God bless. Yeah. Everybody has a. But let me tell you,
I wanted it.
Yeah, you wanted it.
And I'm like, and
the situation.
It's so much better. Right. So yeah, I don't think it's impossible for somebody to understand. But yeah, a lot of people, it's not a thing for them. But boy, I can't imagine.
When you want it and you don't have it, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I want, and you have to kind of tell yourself, okay, I'm good. I mean, and you're strong enough to go. I'm a good enough person. I know who I am.
Yeah.
I don't need to be a dad, but I would love to be one.
You reminded me of this week. I got an email. I'm working 1 day a week.
Okay.
But I'm in email every day, and I got an email from a guy that I used to work much more directly with. So the company I work for kind of was all one company, then it split into 2 parts, and then that other part got absorbed into another company.
Gotcha.
So I don't work with this person at all anymore, but 8 years ago, 9 years ago.
And I know this person.
Yeah, one of the guys from production.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm sure.
I got an email from that guy. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't heard from him in a long time, and I was thinking about it, and I've said this before, like there are those moments that you remember that you can picture yourself like where you were.
Yeah.
And I remember having a conversation with him. I was in the lobby of the venue, and I was on the phone with him. We would talk every day, and I was in the lobby over by the kind of our merch area, and he's a father, and he was kind of talking to me about a difficult time with the kids, as everybody has. And I remember saying, I know it's hard, but you're talking to somebody who would take 10 years off the end of his life to have what you have.
to complain of what you're just saying.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember he said, I always think of you, because at the time I was single, I'm going out on dates, and then I would tell him
remember.
what was, you remember. And so he's like, I always think of you, what you're doing, and having a good time.
Yeah, that's who you are.
And I remember, and I think that was not long before I met Kelly.
Oh, really?
It was around that time, and I remember thinking, when I said that, it had been years since I had split up with my ex.
Sure.
And I think even saying it out loud, it kind of registered that, that is something that is missing.
Right.
And seeing that email from him made me think about that and think, wow, here I am several years later, and what a
wife,
miracle,
a daughter,
what a miracle, what a
beautiful
blessing.
home.
Yeah.
It's life is that quick and crazy and unexpected, and you go from, there's people literally will say, I have nothing right now, and a year later they're with a relationship, a person they met and love, and have a child, and within that 12 months, how quick life can go.
Never.
And I've known you ever since I've known you. We've always talked about family.
Yeah.
We've always knew it was very important.
Yeah.
So that's why what we're doing now and what you've gone through is such a big thing, because it's taking a long time to get to where we are.
Yeah.
And I'm dating, I hate dating, I got to check this, this person's crazy, this, and I've been there. I remember all of it.
Yeah.
And all I wanted to say is like, oh my God, please find what I have.
Yeah.
Find what I have.
Yeah.
Because you can find a lot.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
You know what I mean? And I wish that to all my friends. Find what I have.
Yeah.
Because if you can find that, you're going to be such a good place.
Yeah. No,
and you have.
It is so blessed when you think about the odds, what has happened since that phone call.
Right.
Is more than a lottery win. Right? Like,
absolutely.
It is, the odds are, if you had said then, oh, yeah, you're going to be with this person who's like brilliant, and you're going to be madly in love, and you're going to have you're going to have a family. Yeah,
you would have bet
whatever. I would never
any
have
money
bought.
that you had that this person was crazy and you were, and they were going to lose their bet.
Just probably not. But no,
that's how beautiful life is, man.
Yeah.
That's all a plan, brother.
Yeah. I do. More and more, I believe that.
People
it was
are putting
fun.
our lives and our time that we can accept them.
Yep. This was actually the first time we finally, when we went to Mass, and Father Seat was there. And I didn't get a chance to talk to him very much, but he got to see the baby and got to the little cross on her forehead. And it was the first time he didn't say, "You're first." And I was like, "Yeah, I finally graduated."
That's awesome.
It was fun to do that. Yeah, it was fun. But
this is fun, man.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. So again, thank you for making it to the end of another episode. I think we might be on a 2-week rotation for a little while longer.
Yeah, you let me know, my friend.
We will do it. But it won't be long. We'll get back to it. But anyway, thanks again, and we'll see you soon. Bye. Well, folks, that's another episode of the Gray Hair and Daycare podcast in the books. Thanks very much for tuning in and spending this time with us. We hope it was fun. If you enjoyed this week's descent into the madness of dadness, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of our future adventures. And while you're at it, give us a like and share the cast with your friends on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Carrier Pigeon, whatever you crazy kids are using. Have any hilarious parenting stories of your own? Questions about navigating fatherhood later in life, or even when normal people do it? Email us at ghdc.podcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to bed.